The time has come. It is a yearly tradition. The Kansas City Chiefs will be playing the Buffalo Bills in the regular season, and there are 5 things worth watching in this game, so let's get right into that. The number one thing is the number one thing. Josh Allen owns Patrick Mahomes prior to Wild Card Weekend, that is. Patrick Mahomes is 1-4 versus Josh Allen in the regular season, meaning the inverse is true, that Josh Allen is 4-1 versus Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. But if we are talking about wins and losses, why stop with the regular season? Patrick Mahomes is 4-0 versus Josh Allen in the postseason. So, they're kind of tied, but which one would you rather be? Would you rather have the regular season wins, or would you rather send the other team home in the playoffs? But that's not where the domination ends for Patrick Mahomes. See, let me see if I can do this. I don't know if that's going to... Nope. Okay. So I copy and pasted these from the internet shamelessly, like a stooge, and it is thrown off. But this column here is Patrick Mahomes. This column here is Josh Allen. And one thing would stick out if you could really see it here. You can't, because it is so uniform. See, one of each of these columns is bolded, and that is the quarterback who is leading the other one. So if you had more passing yards, the number would be bolded versus the opposite quarterback. Josh Allen has, so Patrick Mahomes has more completions. Completions is bolded for Patrick Mahomes, not for Josh Allen. It's hard to notice because Patrick Mahomes leads in everything until you get down to, like, rushes. Josh Allen has nearly twice as many rushing attempts as does Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen has about exactly twice as many rushing yards as Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen has a whole lot of rushing touchdowns. That is obscene. Number 2 in NFL history in rushing touchdowns for quarterbacks. It is possible that he does pass Cam Newton this year to be the all-time rushing quarterback rushing touchdown leader this season. 75 is the record, I believe, that Cam Newton owns, meaning that if Josh Allen gets 6 more on the remainder of the season, which with the way the passing game is going in Buffalo these days, it's possible. And he would be the all-time leading all-time leading quarterback for rushing touchdowns. I suppose that's the right way to say it. Patrick Mahomes, so Tom Brady is 25th with 25, I believe. I believe that is correct, meaning that Patrick Mahomes is 7 rushing touchdowns out from being 25th of all time, which is absolutely wild to think about. You think about all of the good rushing quarterbacks that have been anyway. Patrick Mahomes has a better record at 94-26 than does Josh Allen at 81-36. More passing yards at 34,451 compared to 27,994. More passing touchdowns, 262 compared to 207. He has thrown fewer interceptions, 10 fewer interceptions than has Josh Allen. All of these things are true. More MVPs, more All-Pros, more Pro Bowls than Josh Allen, and then there's the postseason comparison too. Somehow I had completely blanked on the fact that Josh Allen has 7 postseason wins. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. That is a lot of postseason wins. It really is. Patrick Mahomes has 17, but Patrick Mahomes is getting up there close to number 1 all-time with, not close to number 1 all-time. Tom Brady still has quite a few on him in the postseason wins category, but that's a lot of postseason wins. Josh Allen not only has 7 postseason wins, but does have a winning record in the postseason, just not against Patrick Mahomes. So interesting there as well, but you see all of these things. Patrick Mahomes a little bit more haphazard in the playoffs, 10 interceptions there versus 4 for Josh Allen, but you're looking at a guy who's also thrown 46 postseason touchdowns. Absolutely wild for Patrick Mahomes. And QB rating, Josh Allen has a very good postseason quarterback rating. Not as good as Patrick Mahomes. Now, the two have nearly identical rushing yard totals and exactly identical rushing touchdown totals in the postseason, but that's because Patrick Mahomes has played a whole lot more games. The matchup of quarterbacks is absolutely where this game is going to butter its own bread. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is touted as any matchup from any sport that you want to say. It is Bird and Magic. It is any matchup from any sport that you want to say. The only one that really makes sense is Brady versus Manning, and the only reason that makes sense is because for so long, Brady was the only one winning anything meaningful. So if you're talking about the heat of the Brady-Manning sort of rivalry, yeah, maybe it makes sense. But can Patrick Mahomes bounce back from this regular season series? I hesitate to even say it that way because I know. But can he win this game? It would go a long way for the Kansas City Chiefs to be able to win this game. This is a very important 4-ish game stretch for the Kansas City Chiefs as far as making the playoffs is concerned. They're not automatically in the playoffs right now. But also establishing identity, but also playoff seeding, but also being able to, if I can borrow a phrase from pop culture, put them on the table and play the game. If the Chiefs can put them on the table and play the game and come out victorious, it goes a long way towards reminding everyone that, hey, Chiefs are still around. And to be very honest, if you take a step back and you just look at the last couple of games, I know the 0-2 start was awful. I know the Jacksonville loss was absolutely confounding. This might be the best Chiefs team of the Patrick Mahomes era. Like, the pass rush is a little bit weak. The defensive backs are questionable. You'd like to see Fulton come back and be able to prove something. This might be the best team of the Patrick Mahomes era 1 through 53. It really might be. Number 2. Can Brashard Smith cash in on Pacheco missing a game? Brashard Smith has slightly outperformed his draft stock so far this season. I had a video on this just a couple days ago if you were interested in the Brashard Smith phenomenon. But Brashard has not quite been what it was that many of us were hoping. He's been close. There's been games where it looked like he really will be that guy, but he hasn't found that consistency quite yet. Pacheco will be vacating an average of 38 snaps per game, however long it is that he is out. How many of those snaps will be played by Brashard Smith? And can he look the part versus a Bills defense that has struggled to stop the run this season? One of the things I talked about in that video on Brashard Smith earlier this week, the Bills, and I don't have the numbers to back this up, but the observation for me watching the Bills defense is that they really struggle off tackle. If you can even almost seal the edge on that Bills defense, there's trouble brewing. And Brashard Smith is the type of running back that can run right off the hip of the tackle, make a guy miss, and all of a sudden he's 15 yards downfield. It might be, look, I talked after the Ravens game that we may have seen the beginning of the end of the beginning, or the beginning of the end of the end of the beginning of the end. That's the one. I think we saw the end of the beginning of the end in that Ravens game for the Harbaugh, Lamar, Derrick Henry kind of Ravens. They might have to change something drastic this offseason. This might be the end of the beginning of the end, or the beginning of the end of the beginning. That's the one for this. The beginning of the end of the beginning for Isaiah Pacheco as the Kansas City Chiefs running back. If Brashard Smith comes out there and looks just stunning against this defense, Pacheco might get a few fewer carries moving forward. Number 3, as good as the offense has looked this past month, Patrick Mahomes has still only thrown for 300 yards once this season. The Bills do a really good job of stopping the pass. They are allowing just 161.9 passing yards per game. The Chiefs, the past few weeks, have gotten a lot of slack around NFL circles for beating up on the Sisters of the Poor. If Patrick Mahomes can come out in this game, throw for 300 yards, and score 21 points when the Bills average giving up 20.9, well, that would go a long way towards ending that narrative. The Chiefs' offense here is poised to have a really good game. The pass defense for the Bills is one of the more confusing team statistics when you really break it down and start watching the team on film, because they don't look that good. A 161.9 passing yard per game number halfway through the season is phenomenal stuff. And you start watching them, they do not look that great. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Can the defense, the number 4 thing here, stop James Cook? Cook has 753 yards, 7 touchdowns, and is averaging 6 yards per carry. For that matter, can this defense stop Josh Allen from running? He has 253, I believe, rushing yards this season. This defense and these linebackers have been very good versus the run, but just like the offense, the entire mainstream media is making them out to be the beneficiaries of a weak schedule, and when we were coming into the season, a weak schedule is not at all what anyone thought that the Kansas City Chiefs had. If the Chiefs throw on the Bills and stop their running game, it seems they can do pretty much whatever they want to whoever they want, and that narrative has to go, well, I can tell them where. Number 5 here, and this is a big one, I think. Can the defense get after Josh Allen? The Chiefs seem like they have a really terrible pass rush this season, but they are exactly middle of the pack when it comes to sacks. 16th out of 32. Allen has been brought down a few times recently, and if the Chiefs can bring him to the ground, it will go a long way towards winning this game. If the Chiefs can bring him down, it will go a long way towards proving that maybe the defense isn't all that bad at getting to the quarterback. It just had some hiccups somewhere along the way. I think probably they're pretty not great at getting to the quarterback. But there's Ashton Gelati is the real young developmental guy because Omar Norman Lott has been lost for the season. But I do think that there are pieces on this defense outside of the defensive line that could be called into play at a moment's notice for getting after the quarterback. The Chiefs have, I think, after like the Eagles game, Eagles-Ravens, after those games, It seems to me, and again, maybe I'm watching football wrong, the Chiefs haven't tried real hard to get after the quarterback with anything excessive, right? Steve Spagnuolo hasn't dialed up too much stuff like we usually see from him, and it might be that they were kind of saving some of those looks, working out some of the kinks on those calls for this very game. Maybe we will see, I don't know, Leo Chanel rushing the passer. Heavens forbid. Anyway, that is what I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.